Okay, here we have another problem. T equal to 3 pi square root m minus r over v. So again, the first thing I want to do is square both sides, so we can get rid of the square root. So we square both sides. T square, t times itself is t square. Square this term, we get square 3, we get 9. Square pi, we get pi squared. And square the square root, we get m minus r over v. Now we are asked to make m the subject. But before we can do that, we need to get rid of the denominator. And we can times both sides by v. So times both sides by v. So v times t square. And then v, well, so v times t square. And then v times the right hand side. So we end up with v into v. That's 1. That's 1. So we end up with 9 pi square into m minus r. So we expand the bracket. Vt square. Multiply each term in the bracket by 9 pi square. So it's 9 pi square times m and minus 9 pi square r. So 9 pi square times each term in the bracket. So it's 9 pi square r. Let's just move to a different page since I'm out of space. So now we need to group. Remember, we're transposing for m. So group, so we can vt square. So we can group this with a negative 9 pi square r. It's now positive 9 pi square r. And then we still have 9 pi square m here. And of course we were asked to transpose for m. So we divide both sides by 9 pi square. So 9 pi square into itself one time. So what if it m? And whatever we have over here, 9 vt square plus 9 pi square r over, this is 9 pi square, right? Over 9 pi square. And we are done. So we're doing a final transposing in the series. So here we are asked to transpose for x. And we have a formula here where there's a denominator which we need to get rid of. So we multiply both sides by the denominator, which is 2x minus 1. So both sides times 2x minus 1. So 2x minus 1 times the left. And 2x minus 1 times the right hand side. So what will happen? We'll have 2x minus 1 times y here. And then 2x minus 1 into itself, one time, so we just have x plus 1 here. So we need to expand the bracket by multiplying each term in the bracket by whatever is outside. What do we have outside now? Y. So y times each term in the bracket. So y times 2x gives us 2xy. And y times minus 1 gives us minus 1y, which is just what? And so we have x plus 1 over here. Now notice we have x in two different terms. So therefore we need to group the x terms. So we have 2xy here group with this x is minus x. And by the way, don't forget that minus x is minus 1x. Just because x is 1x. Group the minus y with the 1, so it's 1 plus y. Or y plus 1. Order is not important because you're adding. So here we factor out the x. If we factor out the x on the left hand side, factor the x from this term, we're left with 2y. Factor x from this term, we're left with minus 1. Equal 1 plus y or y plus 1. Now remember the aim of the game here is to get the x by itself. So we divide both sides by whatever is beside the x. In this case 2y minus 1. So divide the other side by 2y minus 1. 2 minus 1 into itself. 1 time. Y minus 1 into that. Also 1. So x is equal to 1 plus y or y plus 1, whichever you want to put, all over 2y minus 1. And that's it.